Hey everyone, so I'm back for another day of renovations. In my head, today is going to be a lot of fun. In practice, I'm not so sure. So I've got to do some electrical work today. And doing that is going to enable me to continue on making progress with the bathroom. In my head, it's all going to go great. It seems so straightforward. In practice, right, nothing is ever as straightforward as I would hope. So I'm just going to get right into it today. We're going to map out the existing lines. We're going to figure out where we're going to put the new lines. At some point, we're going to have to take a trip to the home store because unfortunately, I bought boxes that are too deep now that I've removed the lath on one side. So we're going to have to get some slightly shallower boxes, but that's fine. All in all, I'm pretty excited to get this done. As you can probably tell, I'm a little amped up this morning. And a big part of that, right, is we're making progress. So we got the detour down. That looks great. It adhered really well. I'm super happy with that. And once I get this electrical done, I can start putting up the drywall. And as you can see here, I've got a lot of drywall, right? Some of it is for this room in here, the ceiling. The mold resistant stuff is gonna be for the bathroom here. My biggest thing right now is I don't wanna do another project until I get this drywall hung, right? Because it's in the way, I don't wanna have to move it. So I'm just gonna be planning things out today, installing some running boards, actually running the wires. You won't see me hook anything up because I can't do that. I have to have a licensed electrician in here to let me do that. But that's another reason why it's so important for me to get this done now. Because when I'm waiting for that electrician, right, I'm on someone else's schedule. And I don't like that. So that's the plan for today. Thanks so much for joining me. As a reminder, if you like this content, please like and subscribe, and we're gonna get going. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do today is kind of update my carrying bag, my loadout a little bit. So this is an Occidental leather vest that I normally wear. You probably see me wear this. Normally I've got my pry bar, I've got my locking pliers, and I've got my level in here. I usually have a tape in here as well, and I always have a pencil, except it looks like I pulled it out and didn't return it. It always goes right there. So today's gonna be a little bit different, right? So I wanna get my lineman's pliers. I'll get my strippers, although I probably won't need those. Tester. A 12-in-1 screwdriver is always handy. And I actually think that's gonna be it. This pencil right here, I have had for the last 3 months. I haven't lost it because every time I use it, I put it right back in there. All right, so pliers, always go here. Screwdriver, usually here. Tape there. This guy's there. And this guy I wish had a belt clip, but for now, I'm just gonna jam him right in there. All right, so the first thing I gotta do today is figure out which of these are live and which of these are not. All right, so those are my live ones. And just to double check, those are not. Perfect. All right, so my super scientific plan, figure out which wire this is to wiggle it. So it looks like it's this one in front here. I'm just gonna mark this wire so that if I have to go multiple days working through this, I don't forget. All right, so now that I know the bathroom shouldn't have any electricity going to it, I can start disconnecting, testing, and removing stuff in there. All right, so before we get started in the bathroom, I'm gonna kind of give you the lay of the land here. We're looking at the bathroom now. Right here, this is the line that we just marked that runs up here, runs over this way. Hopefully you can see the blue tape right there. Runs down and connects right here. So one of these is going to be the lighting for this room here. And then one of these is actually running back, I believe that line there that I don't have marked, over through here, down to this switch here. So this switch controls this fan, but I believe, yeah, these lines here, one of these runs to this switch. It controls the lights over there, and then somewhere else. Actually, I don't know yet. I wasn't expecting there to be 3 there. All right, so real quick, we're gonna test these, make sure there's no power coming into them, and then start kind of mapping them out, maybe even pulling them out depending on how things go. So this one looks quite a bit older. So definitely running through the back of my mind as I do this is that somehow this one box was the linchpin for all the electrical in the house. And now nothing's gonna work. Be hilarious, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. It would be sad. All right, so here's a $1 million question. Where are all these going? All right, so I'm about 10 minutes into this and I'm already confused. So I removed all 3 of these wires. None of them were hot. And I removed these over here and none of these were hot. My assumption was that these wires ran over here and connected to the box up over here. That's not the case. I don't have any continuity between here, either of these, and either of these. My guess is that one of these is powered from that box over there, and that might be the line here, but I don't know where it goes. So I'm gonna remove this fan just so I can see what's going on behind there and maybe some of the insulation, and hopefully that'll shed some light on things. All right, so you're probably wondering why I removed that wire. It's because new wire is expensive. I can't reuse this old stuff anyway, and I needed a jumper so that I can test for continuity between these wires to see how things are flowing. We've got 2 wires over here, so I connected white to white on one wire, black to black on the other wire. Now I've got my patch, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go over here and hope we just have continuity on one of these wires. Nope. All right. So white to white. All right, so mystery solved. I know how the electrical runs into this room, the bedroom here, and into the bathroom. So it runs up from the basement, over here, down to this switch here. Then it runs back and over to the switch that was previously here, which then runs up and over to this outlet, which powered the vanity lights. So why did I bother doing all this, right? I could have just cut the wires back and ran new wires and called it good. My big concern was that I wanted to make sure that I understood how the electricity got into these rooms. So when I did start cutting stuff back, I knew that I wasn't cutting back something that could be live or could be activated at a later point. So now I have a great understanding of how the power gets into these rooms. I feel confident cutting it back. I'm still gonna tape it up, but cutting it back and tucking it into the walls. All right, so coming into this, I've been thinking about my plan for this all week, right? To the point where I've been like it's kept me up at night. And my plan assumed one big thing, that the vanity was gonna go back here. And it was always a little tight, right? You could only do a tiny little sink because doorways here, showers here, and there wasn't a lot of room. I'm looking at that and I say, it's not the ideal solution. So I started thinking, and I called my wife. I was like, hey, we could do this another way. What do you think? She reminded me that this opening here is actually gonna be a wall. So there's not gonna be a door there anymore. And I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure it out here. So that tape line, so the front of that tape line is where the toilet will end. That's an elongated toilet, so I could get another like 3 or so inches if I went with a round. And then here is where the vanity will end. And this is a 12-inch depth vanity with it kind of bulges out at the top, so I think there'll be decent room there. And then here, I've got I would say that's about 19 inches from corner to corner. So it's going to be kind of tight. And unfortunately, I need to figure this out before I can run the electrical lines, because I have to have receptacles and I have to have lights for the vanity. And honestly, where I put the vanity might actually change where I put the fan, because if I move the vanity over into this corner, I'm going to put the fan right here instead of right here. And it's also going to give me another light over this spot. She had a great idea too. She said, this side right here could be a full-length mirror. I think my biggest concern right now is the space in between here and here. Mainly because that's just gonna feel tight as you're going past. So what I think I'm gonna do is actually move this stud over a little bit, and the one behind it as well. Because looking at it, I think I have to shore this up a little bit too, just to be able to drywall on there. And that'll give me about 26 inches, which I think, honestly, I think that's from corner of the vanity over to here. So I think that's gonna be enough. I'm probably not gonna move the stud today. I'm gonna assume that I'm good. And I'm gonna assume as well that this is where I'm gonna have my electrical, this is where I'm gonna have my plumbing, and I'll be tucking it into that 12-inch depth vanity. So this is a big decision, right? Things are kind of tight in here. I'm gonna hope for the best. Hopefully everything works out. I'm gonna have to return the sink and the toilet that I bought already, get a round one and a different style of sink, which honestly I think will be a little bit better. And we're gonna go for it, right? This is gonna be our new vanity wall. It'll work. So my plan right now is to drill a hole in the floor there, run it up here, have a receptacle coming off probably right about there to meet code and supply the vanity. Then run up over to the fan. So the fan's going to be right about there. I'm going to put a light on it so it's going to light the shower area. The vanity light is going to be here, so it's going to light this whole area here. I think it's going to work. All right, so I checked the code just to make sure I was doing it right. I think I know what I'm going to do. So first off, I'm going to have a single 20 amp circuit power the entire bathroom, which is okay because it's not going to power any other room. So that's one thing where we'll be in compliance. I don't need any receptacle on this wall. Really, the code states I have to have something within 36 inches of the edges of the vanity. I'm gonna have one right here, so both edges, I'm gonna be fine. So I bought a combination of both arc and ground fault circuit breakers. I think what I might do is return them and get just the arc fault breakers and then just put in GFCI receptacles. One of my concerns is that if there is a ground fault here, that the fan will stop working and the lights will stop working. And that, that's not ideal, especially if you have to go down to the panel to fix it. You don't have any lights, you might stumble, whatever else. So I think I'm gonna tweak my plan a little bit. The good news is that doesn't really change any of the wiring that I'm doing. It's just part of the plan that I have to keep in mind. All right, so I'm down in the basement. The hole that I drilled is just kind of off to the side over here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install some running boards all the way over to the panel. I don't know if you can see it down here, but it's all the way at the end right there. And then we're gonna feed a wire down. We're gonna run it along the bottom of those boards all the way over to the panel. And I'd like to pretend that I'm gonna be super precious about this, but I'm really not. I'm just gonna get it done. Looks like there are a few wires that I have to just nudge over just a little bit, which is okay. So I'm down in the basement right now, adjusting some of the wires. And I noticed that when I moved one of them, all the lights in the basement turned off. And what I see here is that this guy appears to be arcing. Yeah, you can see right in there, that neutral came loose. So we're gonna fix that. My guess is it looks like it's because none of this stuff is twisted at all. It's all just kind of on there. All right, so unexpected little thing. I'm actually, all of the junction boxes down here, I'm gonna check because I know I didn't do that. That I didn't touch that wire. I touched the wire that was next to it, that was touching that wire, and just that little bit of rocking back and forth was enough to cause that to arc. So we got that one fixed. We're gonna check the other ones before we leave today as well. We're gonna get the running boards up though. Oh, feel that in the bones. Ah! Oh. When will I learn? So I'm definitely not being super precious about this, given that it's in a basement and tenants aren't going to be allowed in the basement. I do have some standards, but down here, not so much. Admittedly, right now I'm just using whatever I have left over. In this case, it's some strapping and got a few furring strips that we're gonna use. They're real thin, but we're gonna put two side by side. Only got a couple wires to run anyway. These will be more than adequate. I don't know if you can see or not, but the wire is gonna come right down through here. We're gonna run it along here and then all the way down to the panel. This way it'll be nice and supported just in case any tenants do come down here and decide they want to hang something on it. I'm not sure why they would, but just in case. All right, so I'm just gonna poke this up through if I can. All right, so with all that, we're done down here. I got the line running all the way down back to the panel. The only thing I'm not 100% sure of is right up here. I think this is gonna be fine. I didn't want to take it all the way because I didn't want to be a part of this mess here. I may need to run another line. I got plenty of room. Little slack here because the staples aren't 100% down yet. That's just in case you know, I have to move it or anything. And I got this coming right down to the panel. There's nothing in the top right now, or barely anything. I'm gonna leave this for the electrician to hook up. So with that all done, the only thing we have to do in this bathroom right now is get a line from here all the way up over to here where the fan and the light is gonna be. All right, so I'm gonna be honest. That was my first time fishing anything really through a wall like that, so it worked. So we got this line going up. That's gonna power the fan and the light. I'm gonna have to extend this vent through there and over to where the fan is, but that shouldn't be a big deal. I'm gonna do that later. All right, so this is as done as it's gonna get for today. I've got the line coming up from the basement, so you saw that downstairs. I've got a wire coming over here for the vent fan and the light that's gonna be attached to it. I've got one coming around here for the vanity light, and then at some point we're gonna have one for a receptacle here, but I don't have to cut any holes for that because I'm gonna have that on this side, so I'm just gonna leave that one for now. All right, so now that the bathroom's all set, we have to turn our attention to this room because I disconnected everything. Right, there's no lights in here anymore. Well, there haven't been for a while, but there's definitely no lights in here right now. So what I gotta do is snake a line up here and start hanging up the lights. And I also need to snake a line up here and over and down. So I debated what I was gonna do with the lights, whether I was gonna run them down through and do a new circuit, or I was going to tie into the existing circuit. After going downstairs and doing some investigation, it's gonna make the most sense for me to essentially just replace this line going all the way over to here and down in the bathroom. That's where it runs today. The only thing I'm really gonna do is upgrade the wire that's in there. Right now it's cloth covered and it's got an undersized ground. All right, so when I started this morning 7.5 hours ago, I had no idea how today was gonna go. Overall, I'm pretty happy. Obviously you saw what I did. I didn't get as much done as I would have liked, but you know, that seems to be the story of my life. And the good news is I didn't really run into any problems today. Oh yes, the bathroom. I forgot about that. So I'm really excited about that bathroom now because that space between the door where you enter and the vanity, where it was before, that wasn't very good. It's pretty tight and I didn't like it. But now with the plan to move that vanity, I'm super excited. It's gonna be a little tight, but I think we can make it work. So the funny thing is, and I'm really excited about this, funny thing is my wife and my kids were helping me load sheetrock and toilet and all kinds of stuff in over last weekend. And she looked at the toilet that I'm putting in here. This guy right here, it's a Kohler Highline toilet. And she was super excited. She's like, we should get one of those for our house. Well, the good news is with the way that the bathroom's shaping up in there, it's not gonna fit. Or it would fit, but it would be tighter than it has to be. So it's an elongated bowl. I can get a round bowl for here, which is gonna be a little bit shorter. I'm gonna bring it home to her and she's gonna be super excited. So that's a plus, right? Rearranging that bathroom, right? I think there's gonna be more space, it's gonna be better laid out. We're gonna get a toilet for our house, which my wife is gonna be super excited about. I don't think this day could have gone any better. I could have gotten more done, but what are you gonna do, right? Thanks so much for joining me again. As a reminder, if you like this content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.